All right, greetings, everyone. We are live again. Dynasty Amir, search for Huru. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go to dynastymir.com. Tour Sierra Leone, April. If you're interested in rolling to Sierra Leone with us in April, send me a message. Go to dynastymir.com or go to searchforhuru.com. Send me an email. Nigeria in August. If you're interested in rolling to Nigeria in August with us, hit me up, dynasmir.com or searchforhuru.com. Without further ado, we have a special guest who needs no introduction, but we're going to introduce him anyway. Kala Thanos. Kala Thanos, everyone. Today's topic is why do whatever what's crazy. I was talking to somebody from Nova Scotia today, Kala.
Yeah.
And he asked me, he said, Dynus, the first Nova Scotians were the black loyalists who fought on the side of the British in the American Revolution.
Yeah.
They're Black American.
Yeah.
But why don't, and he said, this is exactly what he asked me. He said, Dynus, why don't they talk about that in Black American history?
Because
and then I brought up Liberia. Then I brought up Liberia. I was like, the same reason they don't talk about Liberia.
Yeah, because Black America is a property of the manifest destiny of the white man in America. In other words, basically, it's called a short and short mentality. In other words, our existence started in America and it ends in America, and it's only America. That's that. Why do you think the black news channel's failing? Right? Because it's a false premise. The African American is a false premise. Because are the people okay? Let's say people say we're ADOS, ADOS, the ADOS goofballs and the FBAs, right? Well, if you really look at it, right, do they realize that that the first organized community in the Dominican Republic was African Americans from Georgia? Haiti had a community of African Americans. Panama, there was a new Liberia in Baja California, Mexico. There was a Liberia. There was a Nova Scotians, right? Black community. These are African Americans, right? But they're no longer African Americans once you leave the definition of America. In other words, basically, this is a problem, and this is a problem right here, right? The worship and the idol worship of America, right? And I'm gonna blow this off the charts tonight. This is a show you do not want to miss, right? Because I think I'm gonna lay down the gauntlet tonight. I'm just gonna all 5 Finney Stones gonna snap. We're gonna destroy this whole shit, right? We have been the biggest protectors of this myth called America. We black people, Black America, they need Black America, right? We're the people at the core of America is based on our basically if you really want to look at it, we went to we're in the belly of the beast. We went through hell in America, right? To make America what it is. There will be no America without the African in America, the African American, right? But yeah, it's just like you ever see Dynasty ant when it's been zombified and parified, it starts acting crazy, erratic, and or a caterpillar when it's been parasitized, they'll start and it has parasites feeding on them, right? But the parasite will let itself die, right? And it'll protect the inside to feed on itself, right? This is the relation we have right now. Black people are so hell bent on protecting the very thing that enslaved them, which is America. Not saying that the United States concept, the idea of America. The idea of America is about white supremacy. European domination, the European manifestation. It's said that in the very beginning, right? So therefore, if anything created in America belongs to the white man. Jazz, it's an American art form. Rock and roll, an American art form. Hip hop, an urban inner city art form. Paula Deen, that's Southern cooking. Even I heard Colonel Sanders, those spices he got from a probably black woman. Urban spice. It's Southern cooking, fried chicken and everything like that, fried catfish, everything. It's American culture, right? And so it's not too far fetched. We let this go on, right? When we talk about Liberia, right? That was a Southern. I had to correct these white guys years ago, right? And I said, I'm gonna, if I don't do nothing else on this earth, I'm gonna set the record straight on Liberia. This white guys do these blogs. The internet's so dangerous. They said, look at the southern architecture in Liberia. They'll talk about the different the beautiful architecture of old Liberia, right? Look at these houses. These are southern style. Southern. They brought the southern U.S. They call southern. They say the southern U.S. in Africa, right? Not African American in Africa, not Black American in Africa. The southern in America, right? What that does is it erases the contributions of Black people because we're too scared to stand up and claim things that we did because we don't want to be like, maybe I did something wrong, you know. Well, white people, when they have their achievements, everybody else, they'll say, yeah, this was what we did. This was Chinese built. This was Italian built, everything. They're proud, right? We as African Americans, we feel that unless we share it with white people, right? Oh, hip hop is for everybody, you know? Rock and roll is for everybody, you know? Everybody's everybody. Blues, everybody could be everybody. We don't have anything for ourselves. And so if you see that in a culture and lingo, even one time when they said the N-word belongs to everybody, you know? Oh yeah, the N-word, everybody can use the N-word.
I've heard rappers say that.
Rappers say it, you know? So the bottom line, what this tells you is we don't have a people, we're not a people, we're not a real people. You know, African Americans are not a real people. Now, the work that you and I are doing, right, we're creating a real people by connecting with our African roots. And so like we're becoming a people because white people can't do what we did. When we say, what is an African American? A descendant of the transatlantic slave trade. No, Charisse Theron is not an African American. You know, somebody born on a continent that's white is not African American. Somebody who basically came here voluntarily from Africa is not African. African Americans are the people who went through the Holocaust of the transatlantic slave trade. That's an African American, right? And so when you talk about African American, look at their history, you know, what we was able to build, the African Prince Hall Masons, you know, the African Masonic Lodge, you know, all these things like the African Methodist Episcopal Church, you know, the African Missionary Baptist Church, all these are Pan-African institutions at one time, you know, that laid the groundwork of us building, returning to Africa and everything. People don't realize that the first Black communities in South Africa were African Americans. I bet you anybody didn't know that, right? African Americans built the first communities, or first modern communities in South Africa. African Americans that worked for the Anglo-American Corporation, and it was by Bishop Henry McNeil Turner settled in South Africa. You know, and we in South Africa, and where you think the Soweto Gospel Choir and all that comes from? African American culture. But people don't know that, right? They don't know their contributions. They don't know our contributions to building modern Africa. Professor Davis will talk to you about this in length. You know. Of building modern Africa, you know, if it was not for African Americans and Liberia particularly, Africa wouldn't stood a chance in post-colonialism. You know, you had countries say, well, they eventually got their freedom. Well, remember something. Mozambique was fighting for its liberation all the way in the 70s. Think about that. So was Angola. You know, the reason why these other countries got so close to because in English-speaking Africa, because Black America was there. Now, Portuguese Africa was a little different, you know. English-speaking Africa had the influence of African American writers, thinkers, and people, you know. And so that's why English Africa was gained its independence somewhat faster than French and Portuguese-speaking Africa. Okay. Well, we're here today to talk about our great contributions to Liberia. I think I set the stage up to tell you that, yeah, African Americans run away from the history. Any kind of achievement that we have, right, we run away from it. You know, we're scared.
Right.
You got people don't even want to embrace their own heritage. I'm Native American, you know. You got people going around making themselves like fools. They said, well, where's your genealogy test? Right? They just uncovered this one lady that was from Russia in Canada. She put a tan on her face and said she was Native American. They did genealogy, found out all her parents were from Russia, and she was fronting like she was Native American. These African Americans that call themselves Native Aboriginal take a DNA test, right? Why is it that there's white people now who are trying to discredit, trying to erase the transatlantic slave trade? Yeah, African Americans are already here. If you get African Americans already here, then they'll forget about slavery. You know, this is how sick we are. Instead of saying, yes, our ancestors were slaves and everything, America owes us a debt and everything. It's like, oh, well, that makes white folks uncomfortable. So we got to change our identity. So basically, white people are completely unapologetic towards what their ancestors did. If you start talking about slavery, the white people really, every white person, even the most nicest white person, will say, "Well, your ancestors sold you into slavery." They'll always defend their ancestors. Why? Because their ancestors gave them so much. This country was built off the crimes and criminality thing, and they're not going to give it up. And so basically, if they have to throw you under the bus, right? And so therefore, so our thing is, okay, why don't we start taking all our achievements for ourselves and everything and start building ourselves up? I say Liberia was probably the best thing the black race ever created. You know, I would show anybody who show me anything different. You can't compare that to Black Wall Street. You know, you can't tell it Tulsa. Not even comparison. You know, how one group of people managed to build a republic, and then I'm going to talk about how it was just only 35 years. It really had a chance to modernize. You know, it wasn't even. It was 35 years, 1945 to 1980, right? That was a time where our ancestors were in control of Liberia, and they really had they used all their diplomatic channels that they built up over the last 100 years, right? 1947 was the 100-year centennial. At that time, Liberia being 100 years old, right? It had 2 years left out of 35 years, right? To go around the world and say, we've been in a country for 100 years. You can invest in us, right? And what happened? Liberia pulled off the largest investment on the African continent by a black country. You know, the opening of the Bong mines. You know, that was the largest investment in Black Africa. You know, it said, well, Nigeria could not at the time, neither Ghana, get any sort of major investment because white people at the time, worldwide, African countries are newly developed, unstable. It's gonna, you know what I'm saying? It might fall to communism, whatever like that. Liberia was 100 years in the 1947, right? 100 years stood as a republic, had incorporated all the tribal kingdoms into the republic, and it became a republic. So it had the confidence of the world that it could build a republic. And that right there is remarkable. Why? Because Liberia was tied to black institutions in America. All our HBCUs, we educated Liberian leaders back and forth and everything. And when you look at Liberians, and I'm talking to a lot of Liberians, their level of education and their level of sophistication was way above the African Americans at the time, you know, way above. They took education very seriously. They knew a lot about the world. You know, they knew a lot about the world. You have to, when you're on your own, you're running your own country. You see, we live in America. The problem with black people in America is the reason why we act like fools. Person gets shot and killed in California, stabbing and everything. The reason why we act like fools and we don't like that because we know White Zaddy's going to take care of everything. You know, he's going to make sure the streets work. He's going to make sure the lights work. Everything. He's going to do all that stuff like that. So all we have to do is get there and act a fool, right? But in Africa, even in the smallest African country right now, you are responsible for everything. If you don't have electricity, there ain't no white man you're gonna call. You know, if the budget ain't right and everything like that, you know.
So let me ask you this, scholar. So many will say they're owed that because we built this country. So
well,
benefits.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, you may say that, but it's like saying, okay, you're owed Section 8, right? You're not. It's what I say, mediocrity and subsistence level, right? That's not the best. Human beings are born to build and conquer, right? If you just settle for crumbs and scraps and everything, look at the Native Americans. They gave Native Americans land, and they're doing nothing with it. You know, they're out there drunks, and they can't put themselves together. Black people in America have always been sort of resilient. We always built our own community. We've always been like that, right? But over the last 50, 60 years, we've given that up for integration and all these other things that we want right now. And this idea that America does owe us, right? But I think the biggest thing America do is leave us alone. That's probably the biggest thing. If America could leave us alone, stop exploiting us. We're exploited every day in the media. We're exploited culturally. We're exploited politically. We're exploited every single day. We're always a topic on everybody's mind, right? And the bottom line is you can't even let the average black man live a life because you always project poverty, failure, criminality, misfortune on the black man, right? And then when it doesn't happen like that, right? When a black man is not doing that, right? You always attribute it to, oh, he must have some white influence, somebody white is always either holding us back or or giving us something. That's the difference between us and the Africans live on the continent, right? Africans on the continent have a more honest view of themselves, right? Because everybody that they are around or look like them. The people that's in power, good or bad, look like them. Right? And so when they make it, they have a sense of I could do anything else. That's why you think Nigerians have so much confidence in the world, you know, because they're around black people that look like them that are doing it and everything. Whereas in America, right, even when black people are making it, we have a lot of success in America, right? It's always in our mind, right, that because America provided for us. You see what I'm saying? Because America provided for us, because we live in the greatest country in the world. Like I said in the start show, we're the biggest defenders of America. You know, the greatest country in the world. That's why we were able to produce Reginald Lewis. The greatest country in the world. That's why we were able to get these big contracts with thing. That's why we got Diddy and Jay-Z. Don King went around saying, well, what was Don King's slogan?
America.
Only in America. Only in America.
Yeah.
He went, Don King, I don't know if he really believed that, right? But he went around and sold that only in America. But even when that happened, the white people still attacked him. You know?
Right.
He went around with the American flag, only in America, only in America. America, the great country and everything. And they still wasn't buying it. You know? He still faced racism because they don't care about you, how much you love them and everything like that. When you start succeeding beyond their control, they don't like it. You know? They don't like it. You know? They don't like it. But
guys, hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, too, we'll open up the lines here shortly. Please share the content. The brother that sent the super chat. Oh man, I acknowledged him earlier. Appreciate the super chat. Oh, Eric Powell. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Again, tour Sierra Leone, April, and then Nigeria in August. Hit me up for details. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Now, one of the things that I'm hearing all the time, right, is there's a white boy that has a video out talking about America and Africa. And the reason why I talk about this is because if you find a video on YouTube, please go there and blow this up. I'm telling you the facts and the truth, right? He has a video called He Spent Some Time in Liberia. Now, America in Africa. Now, Dynast, right? In the 19th century, were African Americans considered Americans?
No,
they weren't considered Americans, right? So how could Liberia be America and Africa? You see how when you create something of value, right? When they see these, I mean, when you see Monrovia, right? Despite all the problems and everything, like war torn, it's a beautiful city.
Yeah.
You know, the many bluffs and waterfront houses and everything like that.
I wish I was there back, you know, when Hotel Africa was open and
my God, and the Ducor and all that stuff like that. That was paradise.
Oh my goodness.
And there's John Gibbons place in McGreevy, right? There's another place. It looks like a miniature sized Ducor, but it has a big hotel, right? And it has the same stone building with the swivel as a Ducor. It looks like the Ducor, right? That place is a resort. It has motorboats, everything. I went there, man. The last day I was in Liberia, and it was like it has motorboats. It has jet skiing. Has everything that you wanted. It's a nice resort. Has 2 hotels, a ball hall room, everything. You know, outdoor beach patios, everything. So many beach thing like that. And I'm saying to myself, and I went to Cooper's Beach in Liberia. Cooper's Beach, Dynast, is literally a paradise. You know, I wish I can go there with you, man. Yeah, I went to Cooper's Beach. Caesar's Beach. I went to Caesar's Beach, right?
Okay.
That is I had a friggin' blast, man. The lagoon and the houses in the back, right? Mansions in the back. The Caesar family, generations of African American or Liberian aristocracy, just beautiful, built a paradise for themselves, you know. And so my point I'm trying to make is when you ask the Liberians, right, are you American? And they're like, no, we came over here. This is what we built. We became something new. We're Liberians. We're not Americans, you know. So what is right now, the reason why they're doing this now is to make it seem like Black people in America aren't capable of building anything outside of the white America. That's basically what it is.
Right.
So they'll say America in Africa, you know. And I'm saying, so how was Liberia America when the people who built Liberia were rejected by
We're
America?
considered American. In fact,
They
we're
were
even
American,
considered, was it 3/5 human, of even that?
3/5 human. You know, and no, that was slaves. The free blacks weren't counted at all in the census. They weren't counted at all. They were just omitted. You know, you weren't a citizen.
Right.
They wrote a constitution, right, that said that basically you were not black people in America were not citizens. Citizens were white men in America, right, and white males in America, right. That was a citizen, a white person of Anglo-Saxon or European descent in America. That was an American, right. And at the time, people don't realize something, right? It was a United States citizen, right. The concept of being an American didn't happen until the 20th century. People at that time called themselves Bostonians, right? They called themselves Virginians. He was a great Virginian. He was a Marylander, right? And a New Yorker, whatever like that. They said these United States. He's a Georgian, you know? When Texas was formed, oh, I'm a Texan. That was your identity, right? So America didn't become America. That's why the country was able to go to the Civil War. People didn't see each other as Americans during the Civil War. They saw each other as Virginians, Alabamans, Mississippians, you know? And still to this day,
Right.
you go to the Deep South and people still say stuff like that, right? I'm a proud Mississippian. You heard that before, right? I'm a proud Mississippian. I'm a proud
Texan.
I'm a proud Texan, you know? But that in the 19th century, before social media, that's how they do. So what did black people say at the time? So you tell me black people will call themselves Americans while everybody else was calling themselves military? No. The black people came over to Liberia was the same way. They either went by the church denomination or where they came from. A lot of black people from Maryland, they were Marylanders. They were Virginians. They were Ashland from Ashland, Kentucky. You know, Ashland, Kelly Ashland. They were New Georgians. They were Louisianans and stuff like that. So the idea of America, Liberian, was something that the Europeans tacked on them, right? To explain, to create this mythical group of people that was so American that they built this country and they created a separate class of people and imposed it on the indigenous. That was a bunch of horse crap, as I'm doing my research more and more. And the whole idea of that is to basically discredit Black America, try to make us seem like we're not truly authentically Africans, and that we have white people tendencies, and if given a chance again, we're going to do wrong. Right. But even if that was true, what happened in Liberia doesn't compare to what the white people did in Sierra Leone, right? The Ivory Coast, Nigeria, the Congo. King Leopold butchered 10 million Congolese and everything like that. No one talks about that, you know. The millions of people that died in Kenya, right, fighting the British, the people that died in the Zulu War, the Boer Wars, and all stuff like that, you know. But that's completely erased. Everybody wants to focus now on this one little country in Africa, right? That because Liberia could never be forgiven for never falling to being a colony, right? So therefore, they want to discredit the country, right? Everything you see, you take time and go look up now. Everything you see on Liberia, 99% of it is negative. Negative.
Right. It is.
Not even negative. Why is that?
Colin, that's why we're here, Colin. That's why we're here.
That's why we're here, you know, and we're going to keep fighting for Liberia, right? As we celebrate the 200-year bicentennial of the first Africans and African diaspora landing back on the continent, you know, it starts now. John Amos from Good Times is in Liberia right now, and he received the chief's honor, and more African Americans are coming over. Even Michael Blackson is joining in the celebration. You know, Michael Blackson is joining in, and more people are coming in and going to celebrate Liberia's centennial. Why? Because all the work we've done over the years. I'm proud to say that the work that I've done over the last online for Liberia for the last 11, 12 years has not been in vain. I started the Association of African Americans for Liberia back in 2011, 2012, right? And I knew this was going to happen. I said to myself back then, I said, if people knew the truth about this country, right? If they knew, Black people in America knew that basically the ties they have to this country, right? And stuff like that, that could be the escape we need to the rest of the continent, right? Because Liberia, I believe, if Black people in America, we will fortify ourselves in that country, right? we could be connected to Nigeria, Ghana, Mali, and all these other countries easily. And so, therefore, we have to uphold this our heritage. You don't throw your heritage away, good or bad. You keep on to your heritage, right? Because that's what they do.
Right.
You know, you go to white people, they're not going to apologize for anything George Washington did. They're not going to apologize for Thomas Jefferson, who owned slaves and everything. You know, he's a founding father. You're not going to like that. But any sort of misstep that a black man takes, we want to denigrate. Like they're saying, like this guy, goofy guy, he talk about it's time to have a real talk about Bill Cosby. You heard about? You seen that?
Yeah, well, talk about Bill Cosby about what?
He's we have a serious conversation about Bill Cosby. When are we going to have a serious conversation about Hugh Hefner? You know,
right. But I mean, what's the serious? What's the serious conversation about Bill Cosby?
Basically, he's basically saying we love Bill Cosby. I know him, but he was this, he was that. You know, basically, it was a roundabout attacks on Bill Cosby.
Why? Free, like let it go.
Why black people won't let Bill Cosby leave it alone? And we have our reasons for loving Bill Cosby. You'll leave it alone. They won't see. The whole thing is, Dynast. This is what the problem is in America. This psychological warfare that we constantly go through. I don't know how we stay so strong. Every day said, now we got to have a conversation on Bill Cosby. We can't focus on now you're going to beat us over the head with Bill Cosby, right? What next? Right. This is because we live in America and they know their media and everything. If we had our own nation and we had our own
OJ Simpson. Yeah, they're going to bring up OJ Simpson again. OJ Simpson.
Yeah, OJ. Let's have a conversation about OJ. Let's have a conversation about this, you know? What the hell do we have to have a conversation for? You know? Let's have a conversation. Yeah, but see the way y'all cheered for OJ when he got off and whatnot, you know? I'm like, so why are you bringing that up now? You know, that was 20, 24, 26 years, 27 years ago, you know?
Was that 1994? Was that 1994?
No, that was 19. Yeah, well, yeah, 1994. No, it was 17 years. Whoa, damn, that's it? No, 27 years ago. 27 years. 27 years. 27 years ago. 27 years ago. So now you still talk about O.J. Simpson. No, that's that other thing. Everything is basically if something is bad and everything, they give it to us. Oh, that's all yours, right? But if something is of value in America, if something basically says like this, like if something's good, if it's a painting or architecture or an invention and everything like that, suddenly they got to find a way how to whiten it up a little bit, how to white splain it and stuff like that. So we can't just be proud of who we are and our people and our accomplishments and everything. And I believe that Liberia was something to behold, something accomplishment. If the Jews could be proud of Israel, right or wrong, right, and they got Jews got actually blood on their hands with Palestinians. If Jews could support Israel, everything, why can't we support our different various African countries? You know, people say, okay, they throw Idi Amin up there, right? And I'm studying Idi Amin, right, more lately, right? I say, okay, he was brutal. But now that I'm seeing how Africa actually works, right? How easy it is to do a coup, like what's going on. You get Ethiopia. Ethiopia, thank God, is winning. You know, they're winning.
All right.
You know, thank God they're winning, right? And it's the whole thing about Ethiopia is this: the Tigray people, whoever like that, somebody whispered in somebody's ear and say, "If we get in power, we'll stop the building of that dam." That's all it is, you know. So they don't care about the Western media. Will take these people are oppressed, everything like that. The Tigray people just want power. They had power one time, they lost it, right?
Right.
They stifled the country off one night. So now it has a democratic government and everything. Now the West don't even basically respect their own. We have to support democracy. And that goes out the door when your democracy, the so-called people of democracy, has goes against their wishes. Liberia was a democracy, but still the United States basically orchestrated a coup in there because they didn't like the policies that democracy created. That's what's going on right now in Ethiopia, right? And Ethiopians are smart. They're like, yo, look, you know, the Western media, that's what they do. They get you all hyped up and everything. They create these boogeymans and everything. This is the boogeyman. This is like that. And you got these stupid ass white people up there just like, oh yeah, that's the bad guy. That's the guy we should support. That's a good guy and everything. No nuance, no nothing like that. And next thing you know, by the time the CIA runs in and everything, you have a full-scale war, and it just looks like another African country that failed and everything. And they said, look, these people can't run their own country. Look at these people. Look, there's always war. There's always war. and it's like it's wolf tickets, right? Or they throw rocks and hide their hands, and that's what happened in Liberia.
Right.
I'm gonna explain. White people there hold throw rocks and hold their hands, and so therefore, we talk about that. Like I said, I would like to have somebody that wanted to debate me on this, right? I say Liberia was the best thing that we ever created, right? Probably better than the civil rights movement, probably better than anything we ever created, right? Because it basically showed the world that a black people coming out of the hell in America could establish a republic that still stands to this day.
Right.
The same flag, same constitution, same city government, and everything is still there to this day. Same borders, everything's still there. How do you establish a republic and everything if you're so-called an inferior race? You can't. So Liberia is our testament, that what we can do as a race. And going forward, right, that means that if we have the confidence, once we have the confidence that we could build again, right, you'll be seeing more people embrace the Pan-African movement. Because you can't embrace Pan-African, you don't have the confidence, If you got to go over there and talk about, yeah, man, once we get over there, man, we're going to petition the IMF for some more money. And we're going to go over there and we're going to get the World Bank, or we're going to get the UN. I had some fool talk about, we need UN. And I said, what the hell you need the UN for? What do you need the British for? What do you need? I had even got so-called Pan-Africanists, right, who are telling me that they need China, Oh, well, the Chinese going to build Africa for us. Dude, are you kidding me? You think the Chinese? Are you kidding me? You think the Chinese going to build Africa for you? No, they're not building Africa. Right. You're building to facilitate themselves. Nobody does anything for anybody, unless there's some ulterior motive. Now you could create a win-win situation. You do this, you do that, and we this is how we benefit. But you got
you touched on something. Oh, go ahead. Finish your comment.
No, I said it's a win-win situation. You got to create a win-win situation before. Like that, but you have a lot of people, and I'm saying to myself, there's a lot of people Africans that spent a lot of time in America, and a lot of African Americans, right, who think like this, right? They come here and they think the white man's country is so perfect and everything, and they don't have the confidence that they could build the same thing that the Chinese aren't that smart, They're not. Everything the Chinese did is copied, right? They get Western companies to come in, show them how to build railways, and they copy everything, right? And they duplicate it. Right. That's all they do. And they scale it. Everything you see a Chinese producing, a Western company came in there and they duplicate. That's all they did. They gave the specs. Okay, this is where we make everything. And they have a worldwide global supply chain to facilitate. And they got buyers lined up to buy this stuff that they sell. Right. They're not even good at marketing and strategy like the Japanese were when they busted into the U.S. auto market. Japanese had to use a lot of things. There's no Chinese cars in the U.S. auto market because they're not up to that level yet. All they know how to do is make a whole bunch of stuff, right? And they let other people distribute it for them. That's what that's all about. So you got these black people thinking that the Chinese are their saviors. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, Colin. So real quick, let's talk about Black News Network real quick. Right. And then I'm going to open up the line. So what do you think happened with Black News Network?
Well, this is what it is. And the whole thing, this is what I'm anytime first of all, there's white people that are partnering in that, right? Okay, you go on like I said, I got Verizon, right? I don't see it up on my screen, right? I don't see it on my thing, right? And there's digital channels you can have, right? Like a 4,000, whatever like that, right? So you can get it on digital signals, right? So there's no reason digital signals, right? You have to build I think that a lot of black news networks, right, are basically trying to avoid the internet. Even Fox News has many different YouTube channels and everything like that to show and repeat broadcasts and everything, clips and everything like that. They have Facebook pages, they have Instagram, they have all this stuff like this. I can't find one thing that the Black News Network, right? I say, so how are you going to scale this? Who's watching this stuff? And so therefore, they went to the old model of the old media model, right? Of just trying to do regular broadcasts. And that doesn't work anymore. People get most of their news now they don't even read newspapers anymore. They get the most now from the apps and
YouTube, internet,
and stuff like that, And so therefore these people didn't keep up with the time. And then not only that, Dynas, right? Black news is changing in America. More when I first started this years ago, right? I thought I was hot. I was the only one talking about Africa, right? So I could basically I was the man. And I was like nobody knew about Africa. Now I got people, right, who can hold a debate with me on different African topics, right? They caught up to me. I got a lot of people that caught up to me, right? When I go say some slick stuff about, yeah, but Colin, you got to stay at something in this day, and I'm like, oh shit, man, motherfuckers are doing their research, you know? It wasn't like that a decade ago. Nobody. I was like the first one to include when I do my Blog Talk radio show. I said in the news, right? I said now international news, right? And I always include what's going on in Africa. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! No, it can't be. No, stop!
No, no, man. Hey,
what up, great African? What's going on, brother?
What's up, Colin? Long time, man.
Yeah, long time, man. Long time no see, brother.
Yeah, bro. Hey, see, I noticed that you're coming around to what we talked about when I told you that Liberia coup was orchestrated by the United States of America through the CIA.
Well, hey,
right.
But that does not excuse that. But that does not excuse the individuals who are involved in the coup.
Right.
See,
Same thing.
Right.
United States checks out. Let me say this.
I agree, but
the United States has people all over the world, right? Every last single country, right? Let me say, in the United States, the CIA has a thing, right? They know all the rebel groups, the student groups in every last single country. They got them on payroll. They could take out a country anytime. Now, in what you call, they tried in Iran, failed, right? They tried in Iran. They tried in Cuba, failed. They tried in Singapore, failed. Why is it that it's only in Africa?
So everybody has a price, right? If everybody has a price. So at the end of the day, if they would have left us alone to work out our problems, we wouldn't have had the mess. It set us back 30, 40 years in development.
I agree.
And that's the problem. That's what I'm trying to say. But it was just always convenient to say, oh yeah, the crazy natives just went in and just destroyed stuff.
I don't think like that anymore. I don't think like that anymore.
It's good that you come to this side of the equation.
Because I went to the country, right? I went to the country, right? And I talked to a lot of them, right? A lot of people, most people, Liberians, and I just and because Liberia, I love the country so much, right? And I just see them as my brothers and sisters, right? And they're just like, yo, man, we just want basically good jobs, everything like that, and everything. And the bottom line, the way they treated me, right? The way they treated me was just like so, like I'm just like one of them. So as you said, you know an awful lot about Liberia. You're like basically a Liberian, Colin. You know what I'm saying? But my point is this, though. I understand this, right? If I was in that position, right? I don't know. If I was in that position back in those days, right? If I didn't have education, right? And you see all these people. Let me give you an example. Let me say this, right? I went to Caesar's Beach, right? I was staying in Congo Town, right? And I'm saying to myself, right? And you got a country only 35 years, right? 35 years. Never underestimate young men with ambition. That's everybody listening to the show across the world.
Yeah.
Young men with ambition. A young man basically have a hard time. Somebody comes to them and says, yo, these people over here been ruling you guys and everything for all this time and everything. You guys can be empowered, right? And so if I'm Samuel Doe, right? I don't know any better. I don't know any better. I don't know any better. And I'm saying. So
here's the thing, bro. Okay, so the equivalent of what happened in Liberia, it's like taking a bunch of semi-literate gangbangers, giving them M16s, and then putting them in power. You understand? Nobody that was part of that the so-called 17 men, have more than a high school education. That's who they put in to control. That does not represent the intellectual so-called population. That was like they put these guys in, and you already know.
No, what you're saying, it's like Chicago, right? That's what
it's like you go to Chicago and just take some guys and say, hey man, there you go. Go to City Hall, get rid of that mayor lady, and you're in charge. Okay, and then everybody else is like, okay, these fools got the guns. Okay, so that's basically what happened. Yes, like I said, we had
That's
our issues.
happened. That's exactly what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah,
That's
and
exactly what
so
happened. You know, and bottom line is, he who Mao Zedong said, political power comes through the battle, staring at the barrel of a gun. You know, that's
right,
whoever got the guns had the power. You could be a moron. You know, if you got the guns, you got the power. You know, and the whole thing is this. My issue is this, right? Is that people have ulterior motives. They basically use that to discredit the whole entire Liberia experiment altogether, right? And
they did.
check this out. Then you got only had 30. Do you agree with me that Liberia really only had 35 years post World War II? Because up until that time, the British, if it had not been for World War I and World War II, the British would have taken over Liberia. You know,
They tried. They
after World
basically,
War II, it was over with. The British had to rebuild.
yeah. So it's like this at critical times in Liberian history where we could have progressed. We were torqued. They came in okay. So like in the 20s when Garvey came with the Pan African movement, he started the Back to Africa movement, the Black Star Line. He was given land in Liberia, okay? But the French on one side, the British on one side, didn't want any of that Black Power stuff happening within the vicinity of their colony. Again, they interfered with our situation
Right.
where Garvey was coming in. He had ships going to Liberia, the whole Pan African thing, and then they give all the land to Firestone, deported Garvey's people, okay, and then they gave Charles D.B. King awards for that.
I don't think they really had a choice because the British was like basically saying, if you don't, you know,
Right.
we'll invade the country. We're going to take it over.
They,
You know.
yeah, we were. I mean, we were facing invasion from not just from Britain. The Germans. The Germans actually attacked Liberia. Okay,
Yeah,
they were
exactly.
our
1917.
yeah, they were like our number one trading partner. But then we declared war on them
Which was
because our
stupid.
stepdad.
Which was stupid because Germany basically did a lot for Liberia. You know, did a lot for Liberia. But Liberia, and that's why Tolbert started the non-aligned movement. He said, "Look, we missed out on our partnership with Germany, and Germany was the one who helped build the bong mines, right? The largest investment in Black Africa, right? People don't even know about that. I got it on my
Look, the Germans were what they were. You know, Liberia consistently has missed its date with destiny. Like with whatever he's saying, Tolbert, to me, okay, considering everything, was my favorite president. Okay, and you know, he had a lot of vision. He had a lot of you know, from mats to mattresses, total involvement for
rally time.
Like rally time. All of these things were, you know, I was a small kid being inspired by that. But were there issues? Of course, we had our issues. America has had its issues. Okay, America has had an issue where, you know, we have an issue where our religion was taken from us, and then we got white Jesus. So we forgive everything when it comes to America.
America had the Depression. It had the Dust Bowl. It had all the stuff like that. No matter whatever calamity happens in America, right? It's all okay. But when it comes to Africa and whatnot, unless everything ain't perfect, right? It's a complete failure.
Exactly. So it's like people look at it and be like, man, I'm not going to no Liberia. I'm not going to, you know, they had war. They had this, right? So we're unforgiving of our own people.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. We're unforgiving of our own people. But what I would say is, if people are smart, they will look at Liberia. Liberia is one of the only countries that was not colonized. So what we have under the ground has not been completely explored.
Right.
Okay. It hasn't been tricked out like for example, I look at some like Ghana. Liberia was the original gateway to Africa. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
We went to sleep, and then other people stole our legacy. You understand what I'm saying? There's like Ghana. Okay, I know I got some Ghanaians on here, but I'm gonna just say this: a lot of that stuff was taken from Liberia. Okay, Nkrumah He didn't do anything original. He was a disciple of Marcus Garvey. The
Right.
Black Star of Ghana is what? The Black Star Line. Okay.
Yeah.
So he went to school in New York, was a disciple of Garvey, went back to Ghana, and then started the whole thing. But guess what was happening in Liberia? We had Liberty Farms in Liberia. The guy who, African American guy, James Stewart, okay, went to Liberia. He was the second President General of the United Negro Improvement Association. Okay, went to Liberia in 1949. Hooked up with Tolbert. Okay, he had connections with who? Kwame Nkrumah. Okay, so what happened? He got Tolbert, Kwame Nkrumah, and who? Secretary of Guinea together, and they formed what? The OAU, which later became the African Union. You understand? So this is, if you look at it, James Stewart, an African American, was instrumental in putting African presidents together to form the African Union. The OAU, because of the OAU, okay, then we had a thing where we were like, hey, you know what? We got to free our brothers out of the shackles of colonialism.
Right.
All of that was spawned
in Liberia.
In Liberia. Marcus Garvey.
Let me say this, and that is conveniently erased from history. It was the Stewart and some Liberian legislators got together, and they said, you know something? What if we have like our own Pan-African council where we put all the governments and facilitate together, right? And so it was crazy as it sound, right? They said, well, you know, let's meet with Sekou Touré and Kwame Nkrumah in the hills of Nimba, you know, and Santa Fe, right? And these brothers met, you know, descendants of slaves, African royalty. Kwame Nkrumah met in the hills of Liberia. I'm sorry I didn't go to Nimba when I was there.
Yeah, you gotta come. That's my hometown, man.
I'm going up there. I'm gonna try to make it up there next time I go. You know. So anyway, so that sacred day, they said, look, we don't know how this is gonna work, right? We got the vast continent, right? And then the idea of before Pan-Africanism was outside the continent, right? It had nothing to do with governments and everything. This is a time where we would say we're gonna make Pan-African government policy that will affect everything. Before Pan-Africanism was something in the West, right? Or Pan-Africans and everything. But like I said at the start of the show, right? The Africans are different. They have the responsibility of feeding their people. They have a responsibility of settling tribal disputes, land disputes, all the stuff like that. There's no white zaddy to oversee us, right? So therefore, you have to do it right. You have to do it right at all times. That's why you can't just get anybody to do it. So when these three men met, Sekou Touré, Kwame Nkrumah, and Tubman met in Saniquelli, and said, we're going to charter a whole thing. Now, I didn't go all right. You had different factions and everything.
Yeah, different.
But check this out. 1979 was what brought it all together.
Right. I remember OAU conference in Liberia. Yeah. They had built the entire OAU village. They had villas for each of the African presidents was built for this particular event. Wow. You know. And today,
another thing, Diane, erased from history. Erased from history.
Yeah. Erased from history. And so here's the thing where, again, they didn't leave us alone. They screwed us up. How did they screw us up? Okay. Within the OAU, you had the two factions that developed. You had the Monrovia group that was led by Tubman, who wanted to have each country that was becoming independent to maintain their sovereignty. Okay. Yeah. Then you had a Casablanca group. That was a more radical wing that wanted the United States of Africa. Again, what happened with that? When Nkrumah was overthrown, Patrice Lumumba was murdered. What else? Okay, so then when Nkrumah was overthrown, he fled. He went to Guinea, and he became the co-president with Sekou Touré. Sekou Touré rejected the French thing. The French wanted him. You know, he didn't sign the continuation of colonization. You understand that all these French-speaking West African countries are under today. They're still paying for infrastructure that was built by French people. Yeah. Okay. Every single mineral in those West African countries that are controlled by the French have the first right of refusal to develop that. Okay. So this whole thing where we start something and then they interfere with us. Haiti had a revolution, then, you know, it's still being punished. But through it all, okay, no colonialism. Liberia still stands as a
It's
nation.
free soil. To me, the only free soil in Africa.
Yeah. We don't have a colonial master. We have America, but we're like America looks at us like as the stepchild, the outside kid. You know what I mean? The illegitimate child that was had.
Well,
But it had nothing to do with that.
Liberians have such strong ties to Black America. That right there is a beneficiary right there. The strong ties to Black African American institutions here in America, right? So that's why Liberia is keeping it afloat, because they have access to Black American institutions and stuff like that. So they didn't really need a colonial master. We
didn't have the so-called benefits of colonialism. Okay. To this day, you have to be a Black man to be a citizen of Liberia. To this day, you cannot buy land unless you're a Black man. Okay, so this was set up as a refuge, a place of refuge. I encourage everybody listening here to go and read the Liberian Declaration of Independence. Okay, read that Declaration of Independence.
And read Hillary Teague. Read Hillary Teague's a scathing letter. Right, he wrote a scathing letter. If you have any doubts about Liberia was this American-loving settlement and whatnot, he said, "Look, we were in America, we were rejected, and then now that we were abandoned on this coast, right, to fend for ourselves and everything like that. We're in a country we helped build. We were basically kicked out, but we're gonna make this work." Yeah, and that's why Liberia said so. You could tell it was written in anger. So basically, we're gonna make sure no white man come here ever have anything. So they kicked us out of America. We're gonna do the same thing here. You ain't coming here. That's how I was.
And we lost territory. We did.
Oh yeah, Liberia was twice the size of what it used to be.
Yeah. So, but we're still standing. So what I would say is, for me, I have things going on in Liberia. I'm able to do things in Liberia that, frankly, I can't do in any other African country because they have the colonial rules. Okay.
Yeah. About land stuff like that. Liberia, you can go to a piece of land. I'm gonna buy a piece of property when I get over there. So land, everything.
So yeah, that's what I would say is Liberia is the best kept secret on the African continent, and there's enough that has not even been explored yet. But I just wanted to chime in, Kyle. I want to mess with you a little bit because you know what I mean. When I told you
when you going over, man,
I'm going in March.
Oh, I'll be there in March.
Yeah, I'm going to March. We're expanding our operation. We're doing, we're going.
I'll see you there, man. I'll be there.
Okay. Yeah. Then you got to come to Nimba.
Yeah, I'll come. Naya's not going to be able to go, but I'm still. I'll still probably make it up there if I could get the right transportation. I'll make it up there.
Yeah, if it gets planned right, then I'll give you a proper introduction and a proper tour.
Yeah. That he was going to give me the tour of the mayor of San Quelle and all stuff like that, and I wanted to do some ceremony, plant the red, black, and green flag down in San Quelle one night. That'd be nice, lay wreaths and everything at that monument and everything. So the bottom line is there's a whole lot of stuff I want to do when I'm over there, So like that. Somebody, let me say this. Somebody said cite 5 African inventions, right? So like a white lady. Never lower your standards. We have a lot of African American inventions are African inventions. There's a whole catalog of African American. Those are African inventions. Yeah. Never lower your standards. It's foolish to leave a first world country, a third world country. Well, tell that to all the white people who are moving to Bali and moving to all these countries and investing billions of dollars and developing and whatnot. So see what it is. They want us trapped here in the first world, right? We could build Africa, Africa instead of us making Africa the first world. They want to. This white person here is basically exactly what I'm talking about. I wish you would call in. Call in, site 5. Call the hell in. They won't call in. This is what I'm talking about. Now you understand what the college is talking about.
Links in the chat room.
The links in the chat room. Call in. Everybody's in Liberia, Strongman, Allen. Good luck. All these Debbie doubters and whatnot. Call the heck in.
Hey. You know what, man? Let them hate on Liberia and stay out because we're just getting started. We don't need that.
We got so many strong Liberian brothers. So many strong Liberian brothers that are going there, opening businesses, world-class businesses. I got so many. It's just unfreaking real. The way they put that thing together for John Amos, my guy Ross, his group did that.
Oh yeah.
They facilitated that thing for John Amos. And bottom line is, it could be so. It was on Providence Island too. I couldn't even get to Providence Island. I was basically had to do my camera from there because I didn't know you had to go get somebody and get a key to get down there, right? I wasn't gonna try to climb over the thing and crawl down the wall. But I said, not too dangerous. That was crazy.
Hey, hey, Colin, I know what you're talking about too. You would have broke your neck. Because I tried that shit. You would have busted your ass.
But I said, nah, I can't get in there today, man. There's no way. So anyway, but they had the thing on Providence Island, you know, they had the pavilion set up, everything, man. I said, man, come on, man. You Black America better get in on this, man. Don't miss this boat. You know, don't miss this boat, bro. Don't miss this boat, man. You know,
we just need some investment. We need some investment facilities. We need we need things where people can make safe investments into things. Like, for instance, right now, we're doing a 200-acre pilot project with rice. You understand what I mean? Because we import too much.
Armstrong is doing rice. He's growing rice year round. Armstrong, Japanese, he's doing rice year round. You know, Armstrong, he's growing tomatoes. He's growing onions. And now he's getting into building houses and whatnot. You know, building houses, brick houses and whatnot. There's so much going on in that country, man. It's like it's just time for.
So eventually, man, I gotta introduce y'all to one of our brothers, Pan Africanist. He's actually the 10th president of the UNIA currently. Okay.
Well, bring him to the website. Bring him to the social.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's operating in Liberia right now. I'm partnered with him on some things, and so straight up Pan Africanist, unapologetic.
I think I heard him. I never met him. I heard of him. You know.
Yeah, so I need to make that connection. I think that's a good connection. I think Dynasty, you need to hook up with him and get him on the show.
Okay.
He's a brother that's highly enlightened. Yeah, so I'll make that introduction. So my battery's down to 4%. I need to go plug it in. So, gentlemen, have a good evening.
Good talking to you, brother.
Yep.
All right, y'all. So, Colin, what we'll do, we'll go ahead and close out, brother. Anything else?
Nobody called in. Nobody.
Hold on. Yeah, we'll take one more call. If you want to call in, links in the chat room. But yeah, there's
I mean, like I said, I love these people that I'd be dying for somebody to come in and when it comes to Liberia, right? Maybe we should change the topic and I bait people, right? Every time we come to Liberia, nobody ever wants to really friggin' debate me. You know what I'm saying? Because all they do is sit here and talk this nonsense and everything. We try to enlighten them and everything. You know, you're like, oh well, this and the other thing. Yeah, one person said, oh, don't leave a first world country for a third world country. Are you kidding me? You know, how many examples have we got of that? You know, United States, you got how all these people moving, Americans that live all over the world in places like Rio, places like the Cayman Islands and everything like that, the Virgin Islands and everything. You got people live all over the world. What's that place in Mexico?
Tell them.
Yeah. No, the other place. What's the other place? I forgot the name of it, you know. But it's in Central America or whatever like that, you know. People go there and buy property. Older people buy property. There's a lot of Americans that move into the Philippines, right? Because property's cheap and everything, you know. It's like, and the bottom line, third world is not like it was before. What's the difference of the third world? If you live in a city, you got electricity, running water, lights, and everything. How is that third world? People still thinking like this is the 1940s, right? Where you got people still using kerosene lamps and everything, and there's no indoor plumbing and everything. You know, that's what they think. You know, you go to a lot of countries, they got the same thing. They got refrigeration, they got everything you got. What makes you first world and them third world? That's what I would like to know.
Right.
You know, yeah, okay, they got different metrics and everything like that, but the bottom line, if you have a business, right, and you have residual income, or you got a retirement and savings and stuff like that, and you build a house over across seas and everything, you can live anywhere in the world because the internet is. Right. We're living in a digital world. You can connect anywhere in the world now because of the internet, the World Wide Web. You know, so it ain't no third world where like you on some thing with no electricity, no contact with the world. Did they think this is Gilligan's Island or something? You know, we think we're living in the 1950s, 40s and whatnot, where as soon as you leave America, you know, there's no electricity, there's no anything. You know, so these people are things. So she look at this. I know this is a white person. Monkeypox is in Liberia. Medical is beneath standard. Africa is in America. Look it up. I don't debate. Just warn people. Liberia law is sickening. Yeah, yeah. I don't know why these people come to our.
He said monkeypox.
Yeah, what the hell's monkeypox? You know, I was over there.
Oh,
I didn't get monkeypox.
Good.
You know, I was over there. You know, I don't debate. You just look up. Just the fact. They look up Wikipedia. They look up garbage on the internet when I think that's facts. But I actually went to the continent, the country, and I did fine. I was there for a month, and I did fine when I was over there. You know, no problems whatsoever. You know, so nobody wants to call in. Jeez, man. I mean, this is
that's it, man. That's it. So what we'll do, we'll go to close out. Anything else you'd like to share at closing, Kala?
Yeah. If you want to, like I said, I plan on going to Liberia between February and March of 2022. If you want to join me, we're gonna have some events set up and everything like that. Join our social network, the BAIO. I'm gonna put the link in the chat room, or you can download the app. And that's the way you get in touch with me. You know, if you want to join what we're doing. You want to join what we're doing, join the BAO, join the Association of African Americans for Liberia, Association of African Americans for Liberia. You can join us and everything. We have a lot of stuff going on, and we continue this movement, you know. So that's the link to my website. You want to come in there. If you're black, you can join, you know. That's all it's about. She goes, Black American inventions are not African inventions. See, this is what I'm talking about. Thanks. Can we talk about this for a minute? This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Go ahead.
Black American inventions are not African inventions. Black America done in more than 4 years what Africa done a 4,000. I'm like, what the hell? Africa, check us out. African Americans are Africans. We're not Black Americans. We're African Americans. We're African. It's only when people want to steal our heritage, take so forth. They want to Americanize us. We're Black Americans, right? Oh, Liberia is a Black American colony in Africa. They're not Africans. They're Black Americans, you know? So in other words, basically, we're not Africans when we're doing something substantial, when we're creating or inventing and everything, you know? And then when we're failing, oh, that's all Black, you know? So the bottom line is this: if African Americans create something, that's part of the African culture, African experience, and we're Africans in America. You know, there's nothing different from us than the brothers and sisters in Africa. So we share, just like they share our heritage, right, and our accomplishments, we share theirs. We're all one and the same. You know, and that's when it comes down, because we're living on a world stage, right, where it's all about race. The Asians figured that out, right? That's why you got Asian fusion cities now. The Chinese, Thai, Vietnamese, Japanese, and whatnot, all now living in futuristic cities together, right? And building an Asia for the future. While America is going down the tubes, right? It's turning into a third world shithole, right? Endless wars, conflict, racial, everything like that. I don't know. This country's gone insane, right? It's just time to basically just build, like I said, build Africa and just build for the future. You know, let's get. I like what I see Mark Blanton's doing. You know, in South Africa. You know, bottom line is this: this whole movement is for every education income level of African Americans. We need the educated Black people who want to build with Black people, Black Africa. We need the working class proletariat. We need all that. You know, one group of people can't just dominate the movement. You know, too many times on the YouTube channels, you got morons running the movement talking about bye, and it turns the educated Black people off. You know, and so therefore, I'm glad when people hear me speak, they're like, okay, well, we got somebody educated, you know, who knows. I know I'm from Black Middle America. I know exactly what Black Middle America wants and needs and what desires and everything. So I know how to market the Pan-African movement to the Black people that's really going to make this work, you know? Because once that happens, that's what they fear. They fear the fact that they're losing Black America, you know, the core Black America, you know? You know, they can sideline the Black nationalists. The Black nationalists have always been sidelined. Oh, y'all just crazy fringe. Now, this talking points are now in the mainstream of Black America, and that's what they fear. But it doesn't matter what they fear, because this time we're going to win. You know, this time we're going to win. The jig is up. You know, the jig is up.
Yes, sir.
This time we're going to win.
Yes, sir. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Tours, Sierra Leone in April, Nigeria in August. Till next time, family, Dynasty Search for Uru.
Peace.